Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome at Christmas Stories. I know you are prepared for a piano recital, but this one will be a special one because we will have some little chat with the artists, with the pianists. So we recorded everything in advance like that. We can just lay back and enjoy the show. And at this time, when Christmas is approaching, we have some time to relax and to listen to each other. That's why I thought it would be interesting to share some topics about piano playing with each other. And like this, you can get to know each other a little bit better. So first, we will hear and see Merit, who created a fantastic Christmas ambience in her living room. So please enjoy her videos. Start with the first one. Amazing! But wait, there is more. We did another one. Woohoo! Awesome. So, Merit, if you don't mind, I put you in the spotlight. I think it will be like that. And me too. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not mute.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
So congratulations and thank you for these videos.
Yeah, thank you.
It was amazing.
I'm shaking right now. Yeah, I have told you, but just so everyone else knows, I had several attempts. This was the best ones. So I know there were a few of mistakes, but we had a very limited time to practice this. So basically the second half of the piece, I maybe practiced just one lesson. So it was pretty hard to put everything together. My goal was to be able to film one whole piece, even though it has mistakes. So yeah, now I feel good. It didn't sound that bad that I imagined. Yeah.
Oh my God, I really liked it. I really liked it. And every time when you say, I made a mistake, think about Miles Davis. He said, there are no mistakes in music, no? And he proved it many times.
Yeah.
So yes, first of all, congratulations. And it's not easy, right? To record yourself.
No, I absolutely hate it. I don't like to be in front of camera whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, usually when I have my lesson with Nora, I practice the entire week, everything is great. But the moment I know she's there watching me, I just stop playing. I just forget everything I know. Yeah, it's a bit stressful, but it turned out nice. That's something I need to improve.
Yes, with practice and with some little tips. Yeah, we will. So one of my questions is, what is your why? Why do you play the piano?
I think this is something I wanted when I was a child, but somehow it was not possible. I was not that enthusiastic about it. I had other things to do. For some reason, I never practiced piano. I practiced other instruments like guitar or clarinet. But then now at this age, I was more like, okay, I have everything settled in my life almost. I think I can practice piano now for my soul, like a few hours on the weekend, just like a musical meditation for myself. So that is how I started. And Simon, he is here as well. He got my piano as a birthday gift because I was always saying I want to play piano, I want to learn it, but you can't actually do it without owning one. So he initiated it also. Thank you, Simon. He's in the other room. So, and then it felt more like now I have it. I don't have any excuses left. I should just practice it. So that is my why. It's just for my soul. It's not for anyone else really. It's just for myself, my own time, and that's it.
That was so nice when you said musical meditation. Yeah. What a huge difference between recording yourself and show it to the world and sitting in a room alone with your piano and just playing, and it's a kind of meditation. Yeah, but it's not the only passion of yours. You are doing weightlifting as well.
Correct.
And do you see any similarities between weightlifting, sport, and piano playing?
I do. So music is for my soul and weightlifting is for my body, you know, the mind, body, soul. They are the things that are filling those things. And there are a few things that are absolutely the same, which is both require a lot of focus a lot of time and a lot of dedication. The more you spend time on something, the more you progress. It is the same for weightlifting. I mean, it is better to give a context. My weightlifting is not like a general exercise, like going gym and doing some sort of fitness. I do heavy weightlifting, like 3-digit numbers kind of lifting. So I need to progress, practice regularly and spend a lot of time so that I can keep those numbers high up. So it is the same thing with piano. I have to spend some time, not some time, a lot of time and effort and focus so that I become more perfect with what I'm creating. That was why the recording had some flows at the end, because I didn't have enough time to practice. But I know if I practice more, it will become better. So those are the similarities, like time, focus, dedication, and also more technical side, muscle memory. Like the more you do things, your body remembers what you are doing. It is the same for lifting. Like if I give a time for myself that I'm not going to train for a month or even 2 months, sometimes injuries happen or so. When you go back to training, it is the same. Your body remembers what you're doing. It is kind of the same with piano as well. Like I go on holidays, sometimes we have to cancel our lessons. I go to Turkey for a few weeks and I come back and I still be able to play. It is the muscle memory. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think about the similarity, like muscle memory between weightlifting and piano playing, but yeah, makes sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. And do you think that they are strengthening each other, paying time and attention to sport and music, and it improves determination and persistence?
It does help with my discipline.
Mm-hmm.
If I let it go, I know that I won't be able to play or I won't be able to lift. And if I lose that discipline, I will forget how to play and I will injure myself when I'm lifting. Like, it's just keep me more disciplined in my life in general.
Wow, so true. Ah, nice. And the last question is, do you have a dream piece, a long-term goal, like with weightlifting, a very heavy thing? That's the pianist talking about weightlifting. And in piano, it's a piece of music what you want to play at some point in the future.
Yeah, that will be Moonlight Sonata.
Whoa, okay, I take a note.
That is what I mean, when I first got the piano, that was in my mind, one day I'm going to play Moonlight Sonata. That is what I want to play. Do you want to hear the answer for weightlifting as well? No.
Yeah, since you're talking about it.
I mean, currently my personal best is 110 kilos. I want to lift 120 kilos. And then it will probably be 130 kilos. Like, yeah.
Okay.
It's a long journey. I'm sure I will play Moonlight Sonata before I will be able to lift those weights.
Yes, and when you play Moonlight Sonata, after that you want to play the Pathetic, right, Renata?
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much for your recording, for your dedication, for your time and energy. It was so nice to have you here, and enjoy the concert.
I will. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening, everyone. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh yes, thank you, Merit. So now I will do this thing. Okay. In the next few minutes, we are going to listen to Gregory. He recorded 2 pieces for us, one sonata by Haydn and the waltz by Streinhorn. And between the 2 pieces, we will have a little chat about piano playing, about practicing, and about dancing. It's just a little hint. So please enjoy Haydn Sonata in G major. Nice. Wonderful sonata. And now, Gregory, you will be in the spotlight. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for the video.
No, thank you for guiding me through that sonata.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. You remember how we started with the
very
notes and
slowly,
then
yeah.
working on the phrases and everything. Great. So, Gregory,
Mm.
share with us your why. Why do you play the piano?
Yeah, well, I can just tell you that as a young person, I had piano lessons for about, I don't know, 10 years maybe. And then I went away to college and started working and didn't have so much time for playing the piano. I played a little bit occasionally, but not very often. But I always had in the back of my mind that when I retired, I would go back to playing the piano. It's just something I always wanted to do, and a really good thing to do when I have more time and peace of mind. And so that's what I did. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Excellent. It requires a lot of time, right?
It does require a lot of time, yeah. And when I was working, I traveled most of the time, and so it just wasn't possible for me to do something that required regularity. So yeah.
Yes. And also, as Marriage mentioned, you need to have a piano. And when you travel a lot,
No, a piano doesn't fit in your hand luggage. That's true.
so true.
Yeah.
And also, beside piano playing, you do Lindy Hop, swing dance.
I do. Yeah.
Tell us about this a little bit more, and also how, if in any ways, is it connected to piano playing, to music?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also very musical. It's a bit the same story as with the piano playing. I always liked to dance, and I started dancing at Lindy Hop, but other kinds of dancing when I was in college. And then when I started working, impossible once again to take lessons and do anything regularly. So yeah, now I'm dancing. I don't know if I dance more than I play the piano, or I play the piano more than I dance, but I spend a lot of time doing both. So, yeah.
Yes.
And how is it connected to playing the piano? Well, I mean, they're both have to do with music. And with Lindy Hop, most of the swing music, most of it follows a certain pattern. And if you can read me, if somebody tells you, okay, it's going to be 8 bars of this, if you don't have any idea about music, you could get used to hearing it, I suppose. But if you can kind of picture it, or even picture sometimes we'll practice an unusual rhythm or something, and I try to picture what the notation of the rhythm would be. And if you couldn't read music or didn't have any idea about music, you wouldn't be able to do that. So I don't know if it helps me or not, but that's what
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We actually, just for the others to know that we are talking about this a lot during our lessons, because Gregory plays jazz standards as well. We started to learn improvisation. And once we had a talk about rhythm and rhythm patterns. And we applied a rhythm, what he was actually dancing, into his improvisation. So, but I didn't know that while dancing, you are visualizing the rhythm. Okay, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I thought it's just pure, I don't know, kinesthetic.
It's mostly feeling.
Yeah.
It's mostly get it in your bones. But yeah, sometimes I do try to picture it.
Okay, so basically you can take notes while you are at a dancing class.
Yeah, or after. I take notes after,
Sure.
after the dancing classes. I do write some things down.
Okay, that's super. Another thing, you have a fascinating practice method. Please
My
tell us about your toothpicks.
So I use toothpicks to count off when I'm practicing. You know that I don't know what it's called. There's that like little shelf at the end of the keyboard, and I keep 15 toothpicks on that shelf. And then if I'm practicing I wouldn't do a whole piece with the toothpicks because it's just too much. But if I'm practicing just a section or I don't know, some trills or whatever it is, then I do it 15 times and mark each one, I do it once, move a toothpick, do it again, move a toothpick. And that, first of all, helps you to count how many times you're doing it. So you have some kind of a system. And secondly, it forces you to stop between each time you practice it, because otherwise you just kind of get in a loop and you keep doing it, and you can't tell where it begins and where it ends. But if you stop and move a toothpick, then you have to start at the beginning again very consciously. So that's what I do.
I hope the others are taking notes now, because yes, it is crucial. We are not just repeating things on autopilot. As you said, when you take the toothpick to the other side of the piano, it's a different movement. And like that, you repeat it with a fresh mind. Genius. Okay, I will get some toothpicks now. Yeah.
Just be careful with them, because sometimes they'll slide off the shelf and then they slip down in between the keys. Whenever I have my piano tuned, I have to have the piano tuner remove the toothpicks that get under the keys.
And they never ask, why do you have toothpicks on the piano?
No, they've never asked. They just take them out.
All right. Thank you, Gregory. Thank you so much for your toothpick method. And I wish you a Merry Christmas and happy dancing.
Thank you.
And we will listen to your waltz.
Yeah, but before you play that, I just want to say it's not my waltz. This arrangement was made by no one other than Nora herself. She listened to it and she transcribed it, and so this is Nora's arrangement of this beautiful waltz.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for mentioning it. Yeah, it was, I like challenges, and it's a beautiful piece of music. And yes, for transcription, it was amazing. Wow, finding the chords and everything.
You did a great job.
All right. Thank you, Gregory. Thank you so much. And now I try to remove this spotlight. And waltz. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Seriously, you played it so inspiring. Ah, nice. Okay, thank you, Gregory. And now our next performer is Renata, who is a big fan of Beethoven. And now she's going to play for us the second movement of Beethoven Pathetic Sonata. Brava, brava. Where are you, Renata? Here.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. I can hear you. Congratulations. You
Oh, thank
did
you.
it. You recorded it. Yeah. Excellent.
Only took about
Okay.
10 or 12 tries, I think.
Yeah. Welcome to the club. Beautiful. It was really beautiful. So tell us your why. Why do you play the piano?
Why? Well, why did I start playing the piano? My mom put me in piano lessons when I was quite young, probably about 8 years old, to keep me busy while she was at university. So I started playing as a kid, and I've always had a piano in the house, so I've always played, and it's been something that I do. And I've just always liked it as an outlet. I stopped playing probably about 20 years ago, and I always wanted to start back. And it's just something that I wanted to do, and it's just a creative outlet that's very different to my day job. When I play, I can feel my brain working in a completely different way to how it usually does. Like when I first got the piano, a weekend just trying to play again, I could actually feel my head just felt different. I felt like if a new part was opening up, and it's very hard to explain it. I just enjoy it, and I just think it's like I've been given a gift to be able to make some sort of music, and I just feel really blessed to be able to do that.
Yes, that's so interesting that you mentioned you felt that your brain works differently. Yeah, literally that happens. We are creating new connections between the neurons. It's amazing. If you check out some little experiments with these electrodes and everything, they actually show different parts, like which part of your brain is active. The brain activity goes like this when you play the piano. So yeah. And so you choose your pieces before I even think about it. We should think about a new piece. So Renata is the one who has a plan, always. So tell us about this process. How do you choose your new pieces? Because it's not me. It's like, yeah, we will do this.
Oh, there's the official list that we do in lessons, and then there's the stuff that just happens on the side, and there's like a longer list, and there's a plan for 2023. I don't know. I think there's some pieces that I just hear. So I listen to classical music, and if I hear a piece and it just sticks with me, I just want to, there's something that grabs me, and I want to be able to play it. And then from when I was younger, and my first foray into playing the piano, there are a few pieces that were like on my bucket list. And one of the very first pieces that I learned when I was about 10, and I didn't really appreciate it, was the Moonlight Sonata. So that was the first one I tried to learn, but I never mastered it. So then when we started lessons, and I thought, okay, I need to do this Moonlight Sonata properly. And then because I started with Beethoven, I think because I was that young, like Beethoven's had this impression, so I quite like his music, and I've always listened to his music. And then I discovered the Pathétique, and it just is. It's just like, it's like the Chopin. There's something moody. There's something that speaks to me, and I listen to that one and do the prelude the prelude that I played at the last recital. And then the next one is going to be the third movement of this Beethoven sonata, and then we're going to go to the 17th sonata, and we need to do some Chopin in between, and I need to learn something by Rachmaninoff, because you just must, right? and Liszt, because we need to also touch the Hungarians. So
Oh yes, yeah. What, you want to play Rachmaninoff? Okay, yeah, I take another note. So you see, you see, Marriage, that's why I told you that you start with Moonlight Sonata, and then it's a snowball effect. You will never stop. All right, so you mentioned that you listen to classical music a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And playing the piano, does it affect the way how you listen to classical music, what you hear when you listen to your Spotify list, which is full of Beethoven? I imagine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think so. Having played for maybe 2-3 years now, I hear more in the music, and I understand. Like the technical parts more. So before you would hear it, it sounds so pretty and everything. But now it's having tried to do these pieces and learn these pieces. It's just the amount of dedication and the technical things that you have to learn. You don't just wake up one morning and you play, you play a sonata or something. You have to learn the technique first. And then once you've learned the technique, then you master the notes, and then you put another layer and another layer. So now when I go to, like when I see somebody playing live, then I also think about, it's like seeing Lang Lang play Goldberg variations. He didn't just, start doing that. That's years and years and years of practice that you put into it. So just respect it more.
Yeah, we appreciate it more when we know the process. Yeah, it's
Just
exactly like that.
in awe of what some people can do with the piano. So.
Yeah, that's so true. And you listen to podcasts also, not only classical music.
Yeah.
Just for the others to know that she's the one who is like, Nora, have you listened to this podcast? This is amazing. They're talking about manuscript of Beethoven. And I'm like, no, but I will. About it a little bit. Why do you listen to these podcasts?
To understand a bit more about the music and how it's structured. So I don't understand all of it because there's much more to do in the music theory, but I start to hear some stuff we talk about in terms of triads and diminished chords and this and that, and then starting to understand also the inspiration that's behind it. I think with the Beethoven one, it's just really interesting to see a piece that we have now, but then to learn about what he went, his entire process. And apparently he was quite a stickler when it came to his publishers, his entire process for being able to publish his work. And he was quite, he knew his worth, let's put it that way. But yeah, I just think I find the history is quite interesting. And when you have a sense of what the composer's thinking about, then you can channel that in a bit when you're playing yourself.
Yeah. And when I was listening to this same podcast, it colored a little bit the picture of Beethoven in my mind. And when you know that he was a human being, he was a genius, but still a human being, it removes some pressure. Like he was not a saint or something. But yeah, he composed amazing music. And yet you can touch this music, you can play it, you can even create your own version. It's nobody dies, it's fine. Yes, so thank you, Renata. Thank you for this wonderful second movement of the Pathetic Sonata. And personally, thank you for making me practice my classical skills.
Well, thank you for helping me learn it. It's only been a year, right? So.
Yeah, because if I want to teach this repertoire, what you already have on the 2023 list, to be able to play it. So thank you so much. And we will continue with Chopin because you made me practice. Yes. So I'm going to perform for you Chopin Fantasie Impromptu. Et voilà. Well, that was Chopin Fantasy Impromptu. And I think that it's a little bit dark. So now I call for help. Kurt, please play for us something cheerful. So first we are going to listen to your recording, and after that we do this little chat. He will play Let It Go. Thank you. You gave us some snow. Woohoo! Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It was so nice to hear this song. And your version is so original. Yes, I like it.
Thank you.
So tell us about your why. Why do you play the piano?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's mainly about creating something. It's cool to like create something and see structures and new ways of, I don't know, finding things or trying to figure out how things work. Well, in music in general, and I think the piano is just maybe it's the wrong wording, but it's a simple instrument. It's not easy, but like a simple instrument. So I like things that are simple but structured, and you can do like really cool stuff with it. So I think that's mainly my reason to play the piano, I guess.
Okay, yes. So it's an intellectual approach. And I like that you mentioned that the piano is a simple instrument. Yes, it's a visual aid when you compose for orchestra. You see all the instruments and they are playing in different keys, but on the piano, you know that these are the high notes, so they will sound like there, middle notes, low notes, and the whole orchestra is just in front of you. Yeah, it absolutely works like that. Yes. But it's not the only creation that you are doing, because on one of our lessons, you mentioned that you do an improvisation theater. So please tell us about it. First of all, what is it exactly? And why did we talk about improvisation theater? How is it connected to piano playing?
Okay, it was a few years ago, so I stopped doing that, but I did that for a few years. And it's basically some kind of theater where you get assignments on stage from the audience, so you don't know what's going to happen. And you're always playing, or most of the time playing with a few people together, and you get things that you have to do, and the input comes from the audience. So you just have to play along with what's going on stage and what the audience tells you what you have to do. And you have different kinds of games actually playing there. And I think it came up when we were talking about mainly acceptance of your errors. Because when you play improvisation theater, and I think in theater in general, when you play a theater piece, whenever someone makes a mistake, you just have to accept it and move on. It's just like always go and don't stop playing. And when you do improv theater, it's actually taking that to the next level where you have to embrace mistakes, because that are the funny parts. When someone makes mistakes and you just always say yes to whatever that person is saying. You never say no, or you never disapprove what's going on. You always accept whatever the other person is doing. You accept whatever the audience is telling you, and you play with it and you improvise to move on. And I think that's where it came in, because I have a hard part to accept my mistakes, right? Like maybe many of us. And I just have to learn to like accept it and like play around it somehow. But then you need to be very good at music, and well, it's a long way to go still. But I think when you say I haven't a really original version of Let It Go, that's mainly because of the mistakes, I guess. That makes it original, in my opinion, in this case. So yeah, I think that's where it goes.
Yes, exactly. We were talking about stage fright.
Yeah.
And you are not alone. So many times I hear that, Nora, I practiced it for the whole week and I played it perfectly. I swear it was like that. And when you are looking at me, I just cannot do it. And it's not because I'm a sadistic piano teacher. It's kind of natural. You want to prove that you can do it. And also it's difficult to accept our mistakes. But when you are talking about improvisation, you do a lot of improvisation on the piano. We started to practice, like taking a rhythm pattern and improvise with it on piano. Is it similar to theater, or you need another skill set?
No, I think it's similar. Because when we practiced for the improv theater, we did a lot of word play. It's like really playing with words, doing association, but way more dissociation exercises, where you have to say words that are completely like not related to anything the other party says. So trying to think really pretty far out of what's going on, like completely out of the box, going somewhere. We had exercises. We had one night where we had to practice a whole evening on opening doors, and someone opened the door and the other one has to reply just by seeing the movement. The other party has to know which kind of door that guy opens. So it could be like a door of a small cage, and it could be a Tweety bird, or it could be a big door of a pyramid. So you practice like structures and like you're I don't know, practicing rhythms and scales. You have to practice with words and movements in improvisation. And when you have a lot of these in your skill set, it's easier to just accept your mistakes and just move on, because then you can start over from anything. You have it in your skill set somehow, and then you can just use whatever you're knowing. That's how it is.
Yeah, I see. It's really very, very similar to piano improvisation or improvising on any instrument.
Yeah.
You have your skill set, and then you can turn it over and just forget about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, you have a very interesting project that you are working on. It's connected to music and artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So this is, for me, like science fiction. Please tell us about it a little bit more.
Okay. By coincidence, like a few months ago or half a year ago, I came into contact with a Belgian composer pianist. It's Matthias Koppens, and he had an idea of an interactive classical concert where the audience can influence what's going on stage. And how it works is we have a string orchestra from Bruges, so it's Brigand Strings, and they will play a piece that's being written right now. But one part, the part of the cellist, which is the solo cellist, is not fixed, so it's pretty open. And while the orchestra is playing, there's a visualization going on screen as well. We're showing a world, and it's the story of one world. It's in 5 chapters. But the cellist is actually playing, or what the cellist is playing is influenced by the audience. So everyone in the audience will use their smartphone. They have an interface there where they have certain, like a sort of a map of what's being played. And they can like change what the cellist is playing. So all the input from the whole audience is like aggregated in one big system. It's the kind of data science AI system, and that translates on the one hand to the visualization part. So the visualizations will change depending on the audience, and the cellist will get a visual music score which he has to learn to interpret and play that score. So that's basically the project. It will be launched in November 2023 in Antwerp in the single for 800 people, and then it comes to Bruges as well. These are the first 2 that they will play, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We've had some students working on it. So we had students from Digital Arts and Entertainment, which is a school in Kortrijk. They are pretty world famous for everything that has to do with 3D animation stuff. So they worked on it the last 3 months. We have students from artificial intelligence from the West University College in Bruges, So they did some parts of the artificial intelligence part, and we had some software engineers working on it for 3 months as well, the last 3 months, also from the West University College. And we did a test last week. Our first test was last week.
How did it go?
Audience with it went good. So as expected, there are things to be changed. We have to fix some parameters, but like the basic idea seems to work. So we had the audience working on their app. They could handle it. They didn't know how to use it. So that was clear. The solo, it was a flute player this time. He was okay with it, but he's not, well, he's a bit less used to improvising than the cellist we know. But he could manage it. We have to change the parameters a little bit, and we had some small adaptations on the visualization still to be done. And we only have 1 chapter for now, so we need 5 chapters to be programmed and to be like made, and they will. Yeah, it has to be dynamic because it has to change depending on how the audience is reacting to it. But the story will always be the same. What's being played will be different. We'll always have the same 5 chapters, the same 5 evolutions of the world, and the whole thing, and the whole experience. It's about 1 hour. It's a 1-hour experience.
Wow.
Interactive, full-blown experience.
Yes, composing on the spot. So if I well understood, you transfer the musical skill set to visual effects.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah, to visual effects on the one hand, and to visualizations for the people in the audience on the other hand, because they're not effect, they are like, it's a landscape where they are like inside, and they will change. They can choose walk to different areas or change small pieces in there. And we're flying over that world. So we're flying over the world on the big screen, and the world will change depending where we are flying might change as well. So it will be completely dynamic, going everywhere. Yeah, that's
amazing. That's fascinating, really. We went from choir singing in the, I don't know, 10th century to artificial intelligence, when the audience can tell you actually what they want to hear, or they can influence what they hear. It's a long journey. And just for curiosity, that you play the piano and we are working on pieces, does it help you to look at this project from a different view, or does it affect?
Yeah, it helps a lot. I mean, this is a typical problem when we have IT projects. I'm working in IT mainly, so I'm teaching in IT, so that might give some perspective. But the hardest part is not making the things the right way. Like, we know how to do it right, but most of the time the wrong things are being made. And this is because you have the IT people with their skill sets, which is purely IT. And then you have the other people that want some project, for example, music project, and they can't translate to each other. They just don't understand each other, whatever they try. So you need someone in between that can speak both languages. So being able to speak both languages certainly helps. It's like it's not the most difficult thing. I can't say that. It's unique because you need someone in IT that knows music, or vice versa. And yeah, it helps to understand what the composer is saying, and I can translate to the students, and I can translate back what the students are doing towards the composer. So yeah, it helps, certainly.
Okay, yeah. Different languages, with different skill sets and different way of thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so interesting. Thank you for sharing this story with us. It's really like, wow, impressive. I'm looking forward, but yes?
Yeah, next semester I have another student and he's working on the visualization part. So I told you this as well, I think. So now we have the music scores with the notes, like going from left to right and from top to bottom. But on a digital medium, we have way more possibilities. So we want to find a new way to show music and to not exactly with notes, but more with symbols and lines and colors, trying to visualize music and show the performer how to perform it without showing the notes, but by visual effects and stuff. And I hope that will go well, because I think it will be really cool to have like a new way of showing music scores. That might be really cool.
Yeah, that's a revolution. So since we are all of us together, my dear students, I hope you are ready for testing this new way of writing music.
Okay, maybe.
For the next recital, we all will have some little new music sheet. It won't be music sheet. What will be? How do we call that?
I have no clue. I mean, I have a meeting with my students the day after tomorrow. I will make a plan with him. He's a DJ, so he knows about music, but classical music. He has some ideas as well. We'll find out how they'll do it. So it's his job now to do something nice and funky with it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. What comes out of it. But it might be something. I told you I will show it whenever we have some results.
Yes, I'm in, and all of you. No pressure, no pressure.
Cool.
All right, yeah, totally. If you have something which is different from the paper music sheet, I'm happy to try it, and very curious. What can I play without the notes? I'm so used to this. I know how to read the notes, how to read the rhythm. I know what is phrasing about and articulation and dynamics. But without my little climbing ends on the lines, I don't know. I'm very curious. What can I do?
Yeah, okay. We'll see. I have no clue.
Yeah. So that's the music of the future. Good. Thank you again.
Thank you.
For sharing this with us and to take us to the future, science fiction way in music. And before we, I just removed the spotlight of you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Or you can stay here, I don't mind. All right. So before we finish our concert, I would like to say a big thank you, first of all, to my students, that they are involved and they are enthusiastic, and all of you recorded your pieces. Thank you so much. You did an excellent job. And thank you for our audience to join us today for our little recital and sharing with us this moment. And I would like to say a big thank you to my co-host. Where are you, Antoine? Thank you very much for helping me with muting, unmuting, letting in people, and so on.
You are very welcome. and I wanted to say it was a joy for me to hear everybody tonight and to get to know them better. That's what I wanted to say to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, and in the chat, maybe, do we have any questions? Antoine, did you have the, oh my God, one for the list of 2025. Renata, relax. No, okay, no questions. So for me, it was amazing to have you here and to listen to all of you. And thank you for this amazing year. I had a lot of fun at our lessons and you improved a lot. And right now, I would like to share with you recording what I did with two musicians. We recorded a little jazz standard in a trio, and it's not perfect. That was my first attempt, but why do I play music? Because I think that music creates connections, and it's a human to human connection. which I think is very important nowadays. And even if we are not in the same country, not even in the same continent nowadays, we play music and we talk, we speak the same language thanks to music. And when we play together, it's like sharing vibrations. It's a really deep connection. And that's my why, that's my intention. That's why I play music. So thank you again, and please enjoy our little jazzy trio. Ta-da! Thank you, thank you. All right. So, now, thank you for being here. I stopped recording.